Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm trying to get some light. How's everyone doing tonight? Come on, light. Yes, come on, light. Let's get into what contracts we need for our business. Oh, come on, light. Let's get into what contracts we need for our business. So, let me say my disclaimer. It is grimy out here in these business streets. Okay? So, we cannot come out here. That's my friend. We cannot come out here saying that's a long-time client. She wouldn't dare dispute anything. She wouldn't dare do anything. That is not how this works, okay? So when we come out here in business, we have to come out here prepared. We have to come out here ready. We have to come out here protected, okay? It is grimy out here in these business streets. So, first things first, we always need to have a contract for something. We need to, number one, have a contract for doing business, a contract for our customers, a contract for our employees, a contract for independent contractors, a contract to own our logo, a contract before we discuss potential deals between, other business owners. So just know, in business, I need to protect myself with a contract, okay? So, first things first, well, what contract do you need? If you are a LLC or in LLC taxed as an S Corp. So if the last three letters in your business entity name is LLC or limited liability company, you need to first have an operating agreement. That's going to be the contract that dictates how your company is ran, how the losses are distributed, how the profits are distributed. Even if you're the only owner, it's what's called a corporate formality, okay? Meaning you just have to have it. So you need to have an operating agreement. If you are a C Corp or if the ending in your business name is Inc., Corp, Corporation, then you need to have bylaws, okay? You need to have bylaws. Bylaws are going to be the contract for a corporation, okay? So, operating agreement is for LLCs. Bylaws are for corporations. If we don't have this contract, then if something were to happen, you're going to have to use your state's default rules, which may not be in your interest, okay? So, when you form your LLC, if you go through like a LegalZoom, an Inc. file, the firm, and you do our CEO package, it comes with operating agreement. If you formed it yourself, you're going to need to get either an operating agreement or bylaws, okay? If you go on my website, if you're on my Instagram page, you can comment contracts, TikTok and YouTube. You got to click that first link in my bio, hit contracts. I have a operating agreement template on my site that you can purchase, okay? If something were to happen, or shall I say when something were to happen, this is going to be the first thing that opposing counsel is going to subpoena. They're going to want to see your operating agreement. So we got to have an operating agreement. Okay. Next. Before we do business with anyone, we need to have some kind of agreement. What are we doing? What if we don't mix? What if once we get into this partnership or this business, or if I'm agreeing to do some kind of work for you, what are the terms? How long am I going to be on this job? What is my payment? What happens if payment is late? Is there a late fee? Is there a penalty? Is there interest added on? What if I don't want to work with you no more? How do we get out of this marriage, right? If we have a dispute, what state are we filing the lawsuit in? There are a lot of things that come up in a contract. And so the worst thing you can do is go Google a contract, right? You go find you a contract on Google and you think, oh, I got me a contract, I'm doing something. If you don't understand what the contract is saying, you don't have anything. You have to understand what the contract is saying to make sure that it's protecting the whatever is the interest that you're trying to protect, okay? So, if you're going to be doing business for someone or someone's going to be doing business with you, you want to have what's called a client services agreement, okay? That's going to be saying, hey, I'm doing X amount of work for you. I'm going to get paid at this rate. Payment is due when. I can get out of this contract. How? If we don't agree with something, we're going to dispute this contract in what state? All of these things need to be laid out before any money is exchanged. Once money is exchanged, now you're at the mercy of someone, okay? So you want to make sure that you have a contract or a client services agreement, okay? If you want a custom-made client services agreement, you want to email me. You want to click the link in my bio, get my contact information, email me so I can make a custom contract with you. If you're in a consultation and you're on Instagram, you can comment help. I can tell you what contracts you would need for your business. If you're on TikTok or YouTube, you want to click that first link in my bio for consultations, and I can break down for your industry what contracts do you need. If you're going to hire someone, right, whether it be an employee or an independent contractor, there needs to be an agreement. What are they doing for you? Who owns whatever is the work that they create? So if I hire someone to make some graphics or help me, write an ebook or create some kind of content, copyright rule is that whoever creates the content owns it. So although I'm paying my employee, they own my work. Does that make sense? No. But if you don't have a copyright transfer agreement, if you don't have a contract that says, although you're working for me, any work you create, I own it, then they own their work. You don't want that, right? So besides having an operating agreement or bylaws, depending if you're an LLC or a corporation, besides having a client services agreement, the agreement that says what they're doing, or an independent contractor agreement, the third contract you want to make sure you have is going to be a copyright transfer agreement. A copyright transfer agreement. If you need this contract, I have it on my website, comment contract, on my Instagram page, YouTube, TikTok. Click that first link in my bio for contracts. A copyright transfer agreement says whatever work that you create, you're going to transfer your ownership in it to me. So your graphic designer who designs your logo, your photographer who takes all your photos, your videographer that does your videos, you don't own that content. Although you pay them, they own it because they created it. You want to own all of your content. When your business grows, your content or your intellectual property is worth something. For example, I always say this example, but there is a case out in Georgia, Sweetwater Brewery. They started 30 years ago. They hired a family friend and paid them $500 to design their logo. Well, 30 years later, Sweetwater Brewery sold for $300 million. So what do you think the family friend did? Sue them. That's what families and friends do in business. They sue them for $30 million saying, if you sell that business, that's our logo. Okay? For all my OGs on this live, if you recall a rapper Cameron way back in the day, there was a picture of Cameron and he had like a pink jacket that had a pink hood, and it was like a really, really popular photo, right? Decades later, this picture resurfaced again, and it got some traction on it. So Cameron decides to go put the picture of himself on t-shirts and sweatshirts and start selling them. The photographer or the paparazzi who took that picture said, no, Cameron, that's not your picture. I took that picture. That's my picture. Well, Cameron said, it's of me, so I can do what I want to do. No, you can't. And Cameron had to go chunk the photographer a nice little check because that was his picture, right? So if you don't create the content, regardless if you paid the person, you don't own it. You never want to not own your own content. As you work your business, you're going to grow. When you hit, you don't want to have to go run back and say, hey, can you sign this? Because now when someone feels like you need them, they're going to hold you hostage. When I first got on here, what did I say? It is grimy out here in these business streets. Oh, you want me to sign this? Well, I'm going to charge you. Boom, boom, boom. Right? So in the very beginning, before you pay the person, you go on ahead and sign this copyright transfer agreement. So I own everything that I'm paying for. Fourth contract, everyone is copyright transfer agreement. Instagram, comment contract. If y'all need that, TikTok and YouTube, click that first link in my bio for contracts. You need a copyright transfer agreement. What's next? Contracts with clients, right? Now, your contract with a client, it may not necessarily be a contract where, it's like it's something formal. But here are things that need to be in the transaction with your client. Number one, what is your refund policy? If you are providing a service or a product, what is your refund policy? Are you no refunds? Are you, as long as you return it in the same condition, you can get your money back? Are you refunds up to 30 days? What is your refund policy? It has to be displayed when the person is checking out. So if you are selling your product and or service online, then there needs to be a little box that they have to check saying, I agree to your terms and conditions, or I agree to your refund policy, or I understand this is non-refundable. But there has to be a box that they have to check before they can actually process that payment. And it has to either have what the policy is or a link that goes to the policy. For this reason, when it comes to a chargeback, the first thing the bank's going to ask you is, number one, what's your refund policy? Number two, where on your website or your sales page is this policy? And then number three, was the client aware of this policy? And when you're dealing with a chargeback, we're not on the phone with the bank. Everything is going to be dealt between you and your merchant. Okay, so whoever you use, PayPal, Stripe, Clover, they're going to email you, hey, you have a chargeback, and you're going to have to do all of this correspondence via email. And all they're looking for is documentation. It's no phone. It's no, see what had happened was, let me explain. They're not listening to all that, okay? Show me a screenshot as to where your terms and conditions are on your website. Show me how this person had to acknowledge, not just that it's there, they had to acknowledge that they saw this, okay? So for anyone who is selling a product online, if you're doing a service, you don't want to do a whole hour consultation, give someone the game, teach them whatever it is, be a therapist, give them the systems, and then once they get the information, they go and do a chargeback. They wouldn't do that. Yes, they will. When I first got on this live, I said it's grimy out here in these business streets. See, we like to go into business thinking that everyone thinks like us. I'm not going to sit and have a full-blown consultation and shoot the shit with this person and, just run my mouth and get everything and then call my bank and say I never had the consultation. They will. I've had clients have a full-blown consultation and then come back and do a chargeback saying they never received it, right? But who not going to get God? Who not going to get God? I record all my Zooms. I have, when you check out, a box they got to check non-refundable. So when I get a chargeback, I'm going to send them the screenshot of how when they book the appointment, it says non-refundable, and I'm going to go ahead and email them the link to the Zoom call. So you can go on ahead here and y'all can watch the full hour consultation, hear all the compliments your card holder told me. He get everything and go ahead and get you a business tip while you're there, right? So it's up to you though to have all of these things set up, because once you are tested, you're going to be out of the money, out of that time, out of that knowledge, and they don't care. There are some people out here who are going to buy your course, buy your ebook, buy your service, or something online, and then say they never got it. So they get the entire thing for free. Welcome to business. So for chargebacks, we got to have in writing that the person knew what the policy was. Okay, so contracts we need, operating agreement or bylaws, copyright transfer agreement. We need to have our terms and conditions or our refund policy. Everyone that buys something online, they have to check something saying, I understand this. Not that it's at the bottom of the page, because what the bank's going to say, mind you, the cardholder's bank is fighting for them. No one's fighting for you. Stripe could care less about you. Clover could care less about you. PayPal could care less about you. They're just forwarding the information from the cardholder's bank, like, hey, y'all, here's this chargeback. Send the information in so you can get your money back. Now, just because you get a chargeback don't mean you're going to lose. I win chargebacks all day, every day. But you have to know what in fact, I think I need to come up with a chargeback masterclass. That sounds good. I may be onto something. Okay. I think I'm going to do that. Anyway, you want to make sure that you have a terms and conditions and say what your refund policy is. And in business, there is no need to be scared to say what it is, or I don't want to run no one away. We want to run some people away. We want to run the people with no integrity. We want to run the people that, all money ain't good money. Once you're in business long enough, all money ain't good money. Okay, some money it's going to cost you to get this money. It's going to be a headache. It's going to be a problem. So all money is not good money. So I believe in having everything up front. If you like it, if you rock with me, come on and get it. If you got a problem, then just stay wherever you are. I don't need it, right? So you want to make sure that it's not like in small print where no one can see. Baby, no refunds. No refunds is no refund. So before the person hits payment, they understand, do I really want this? And I got a problem with this? Bam. But you want to have everything documented, screenshot. American Express is the worst bank to deal with, okay? It's like their client can say anything and American Express just rocks with it, okay? That's the hardest bank to beat a chargeback. So it's up to you as the business owner, as the CEO, to have all of your ducks in a row. That's why it's great to have some kind of payment system, a POS system, so that you can you can have a receipt. You want to have everything lined up. So if you need a consultation as to how to have your stuff lined up or chargeback ready, and you're on my Instagram page, comment help. You're on TikTok or YouTube, you want to click that first link on my bio for my consultations. I think I'm going to come up with a refund policy course. That sounds so good to get y'all ready, okay? Because these customers will play with you all day long and then come back and buy something again. So when you have a POS system, when someone does a chargeback, you're able to then block that email address, right? So all the scammers, everyone who's going to, get a fake credit card and buy something, it's, you will lose that one if they're able to beat that. Sometimes your process server can kind of be like, hey, here's an alert. I think this is I think this transaction may not be a good one, but sometimes it goes through. Now, if it's a fake credit card, that's going to be, you can't beat that one because it wasn't that person's the person who owned the credit card didn't make that charge, so they're going to win, right? But what you want to make sure that you do is anyone who is playing with you, block their email address. So you may have lost one chargeback, but I'm not losing another one, because these people will buy your product, buy your service, and then do a chargeback. Okay, so recap of contracts we need. Number 1, operating agreement. That's going to dictate how your LLC is ran, or bylaws for those who have a corporation. Number 2, you want to make sure anyone who's in your business, besides having a client services agreement or independent contractor agreement, in that contract or a separate contract needs to be a copyright transfer agreement. Whatever content that they make as you're paying them needs to belong to you. Third, you want to have a copyright transfer agreement for anyone who is making content, graphics, photos, videos, or your logo, so that you own all of your information. Number 4, whenever you are selling something, a product and or a service, you want to have some kind of refund policy that's explained. No refunds in 30 days, refunds, in the same packaging. And don't use common sense. Don't use common sense as a standard, because people don't have common sense. When I had my hair salons, I've had customers buy 3 bundles of hair, put the hair in their head, and come in and say, you know what? I normally wear straight hair, but I got wavy hair this time. I don't like it. Can I return it? And I'm looking like, okay, girl, well, where's the hair? It's in my head. You really walked in here and asked me to return hair that's in your head? Yes, they will play with you, okay? So you want to make sure, if you're in a brick and mortar business, I would have them sign, here's my policy. When I sold my hair extensions, they had to, you would think you was at a law office and you come to get your hair, and you are signing your life away, because I'm not about to play with you, right? So when on the form, they're signing, I understand what the refund policy is. So when they come back in cussing and fussing, I have a dead eat, baby. Is this your signature right here? Okay, well, here's our refund policy. Well, all that, cuss, fuss, call Kiki, call them all, right? Call them all, bring them all down here. But here's your signature right here saying that you understood the refund policy. Don't just have a sign up, because they're going to say, I didn't see it. I didn't know. Didn't no one tell you? Then they're going to want to rustle and tussle. And depending on how much thick skin you have, and are you scared easily, you're going to fall back on your policy, because you think because they want to tussle, they're going to punk you out your money. Don't bet. You cannot budge on a policy. The policy, it is the policy. It is what it is. It is what it is. So you want to go bring them all. Bring Kiki, bring Keisha, bring them all down. I'm not changing anything. Here's the policy. Right? You're going to go on Google, go ahead and go on Google. But when they do a Google review, just hop right on within 24 hours. Oh, hey, Miss Shaquisha, by the way, when I talked to you on that day, we already told you what the refund policy was, and you signed our policy. I'm so sorry you're having an issue with the policy. A policy doesn't change. There are no exceptions to the rule. It is what it is. Once you back down once, they're going to run over you, and you're going to be out of business real quick, okay? So I got to get dues from basketball practice. Those are the contracts that you need to have. If you need them, I have them on my website, Common Contracts, on my Instagram page, YouTube, TikTok. Click that first link in my bio. You can email me if you need a custom-made contract. If you need a consultation to know, well, girl, what do I need? You can comment help on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. You got to click that first link in my bio for consultations. I'm having a free masterclass this Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, going over contracts, asset protection, business structure, how to sell digital product, and marketing, how to get your ideal client to come to your brick and mortar or to your website. Comment bank in the comments on my Instagram page, YouTube, TikTok. Oh, come on, Car. YouTube, TikTok. Click that first link in my bio for my See at the Bank masterclass, okay? Everyone have a phenomenal night, and I will, of course, see you at the bank.